On my podcast today is Corey Williams, a.k.a. Corey Crypto. Peace, brother. How you doing?
Doing pretty good. How about yourself?
Man, I'm blessed, man. Blessed and highly favored, as my mother used to say. Everything is good. Had a pretty productive day. And now I get to the better part of my day. I get to talk to people from different walks and facets of life and see how they got to where they are. So what's new with you?
Man, today was a crazy day for crypto. The last
Okay.
2 days, with that being my area of specialty and expertise, it's just been a crazy last couple of days. But we'll definitely get into the depths of that in this conversation. But busy day. It's fall, so the time just went back and trying to adapt and adjust to that. Daddy life, trading and traveling. That's it.
Yeah, it seems weird this time around as far as the way that the time went back. It don't feel like it normally does. Like I don't feel the usual refreshness and like I gained something out of it. I feel like I'm dragging. I'm trying to
Yeah.
catch up to everything.
Yeah, I was a little sluggish the last couple of days, so
Yeah,
definitely understand.
yeah, definitely, definitely. So, what got you into crypto trading or currency?
To be honest, there was a good friend of mine, I would say about 7 years ago. He got into the forex space. Forex, which most people think of some young kid trying to say they made a lot of money, but forex has been going on for 400 plus years. Wells Fargo actually traded slaves. You go
Correct.
look at that. People were trading cotton. So trading has been around for a long time. So a friend of mine got into trading probably about 7 years ago, and this is somebody that's very well known all over the world. Was one of the number one income earning African American males in the world, and I just really saw his life change, and it's different when you see somebody's life change when they put an extra two commas in their bank account, when they change their zip code, when they change their tailor, when they change ther car, change their this whole family and this financial trajectory and close a wealth gap. And when you see somebody that you know and it happens to them, your belief goes to another level because at one point you were at the same level,
Mhm.
and then I'm talking when people run circles around you,
Yeah.
and so I saw him get into the financial space, and honestly, I wanted to learn how to trade, and it wasn't something that he was interested in. He was in a network marketing company that brought exposure of forex, which is foreign exchange, to the masses, especially to the black and brown and to the minority communities. And so he didn't know how to trade. He was big on recruiting. And it was home based business, network marketing, multi level marketing, whatever you want to call it. And some people don't believe in it, but when you see somebody, like I said, put an extra two, three commas in their bank account, you see somebody, change their zip code, and that it's a little bit different. So when I saw that happen, I started to take an interest in trading because that's what I wanted to learn how to do. And so got into some courses, paid for some courses, started going to a lot of the workshops and conferences, looking for mentors that had receipts in the space. Because a lot of times people, there's a lot of internet guys where they're faking the funk. They're not accessible. They're sitting in a park plane. They just change their clothes several times. They rent a plane out for a couple hours and act like they on private jets. But some people really know what it takes to rent a private jet. They're renting some cars, doing photo shoots. They're just, what I would say, faking it till they make it for the gram.
Hey,
But I literally saw, you know, five Rolls Royces later, five Lamborghinis later, multiple homes, private jets. Like I really saw the life change, and I'm like, okay, I can't miss out on this kind of money because this is somebody I know, and never a jealous bone in my body, but I need some of that.
okay. Let me ask you about that because in a couple minutes, 30 seconds or whatever ago, you said that you saw a person that you knew step up a couple commas, a couple zeros, right? but you said you didn't get jealous. You felt inspired by it.
Correct.
So what's the difference for you and a guy like me versus other people? What do you think it is that we don't get jealous and want to pull them down, but we want to figure out how to get that or go ask them, hey, can you show me how to do that?
Right. There's a difference between jealousy, envy, and hate.
Yes, sir.
There's a difference.
Yes, sir.
When I sat and get jealous, meaning I wish it was me. I was happy for him.
Mm-hmm.
Envy, I wish that was me, and I'm not happy for him. Hate, I don't like him just because he got it. So none of those ever crossed my mind because this is somebody that we came up together in the
Yeah.
industry. Like iron sharpens iron. Sometimes, you know, you're in a position on the come up where you're not there, but you got somebody who's pushing you, who's shooting the jump shots, who's with you shooting in the gym, who's shooting the jump shots, who's throwing you the ball, you throwing them the ball, you playing the defense on them, they playing defense on you. You working on so we were. It was like iron sharpen iron, and it was one of the situations where I just like, man, I saw his income go to another level, and like I said, he wasn't even trading. He was in the field of trading, but kind of on the recruiting side. But then I knew what trading could do. And that was something that I was interested in because, I used to be in business to business sales. I would do door to door sales for a company called Quill. So I've knocked on probably every door, excuse me, in Houston, Southeast region of America. Door to door sales, commission only. So, and that's what really got me into the grind and into being used to hearing no's, because every no is not rejection, and also getting some tough skin. So it was just a matter of time of when success would hit. And so I would go into these offices of owners of companies, and I would see most of them have, well, not most, a lot of them that was really getting it. I would see a lot of them have CNN money on, Bloomberg, the stocks, they would have the charts up. And I was like, I always never had an interest in it, but I would see it. And so seeing it multiple times, that means that these people are watching their money. And so it was like, why are you watching your money every day? Because, a lot of times people say money's not everything. That's just, because you don't have enough.
Mm-hmm.
But one of my favorite books says that money answereth all things. So everywhere you go, they ask for money. And so
Absolutely.
it's not the love of money. It's a quote. It says, the love of money is the root of all evil. That's not it. That's not that's not the complete understanding of it. But some people just don't understand money, and we haven't been taught financial literacy. And so once I started seeing that people were making $1,000 a day trading, they're making $10,000 a day. A good friend of mine I'm talking about has had some $1 million days, several $1 million days trading. And so I said, I need some of that, and I got with some mentors, sought out the right people, went to the conferences, paid the money, and worked on my craft until a point to where I got to a point where I was making, $500 to $700 a day, $1,000 a day, and just trading. And so that led me to take more interest in not only stocks, because you got to be in front of that computer, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, futures, commodities. I wanted, some long-term money as well, because day trading, you can win one day, lose the next day.
Absolutely.
So that's when I took an interest in crypto. And crypto's fairly new, only been around 13 years. But, I've been a part of 2 bull runs. I've been in crypto for a little bit over 7 years. And in those 2 bull runs, crypto literally saved my life. Throughout the pandemic, a lot of people were losing jobs and losing money and businesses closing. You see what just happened today or yesterday. 17,000 people laid off at Facebook last week.
Yeah.
Several thousand people laid off at Twitter, and people think we're not in a pandemic. According to the RSI, we've had 2 quarters where we're not doing good. So you got 2 not good quarters, you're in a pandemic. And a lot of people are in denial. But it happens. They'll figure it out later,
Was
sooner or
was
later.
there was there a loss of jobs like in Africa or something like that too, where a Twitter office was closed or something?
I'm not sure about that, but I know Twitter laid off. I forgot the number. I think it was maybe 7,000 people last week.
Okay,
And Facebook just laid off 17,000 people.
okay,
It's coming. It's coming. And so I've been one of those people that always just believe to never depend on one source of income, and now we're here.
okay. So growing up for you, what was like your first job or first hustle? When did it first kick in?
I was 13 years old. My mom had a back surgery. My mom had scoliosis. So as a kid, she was like Forrest Gump in the cast, the body cast.
Okay, okay,
And so got into a wreck, and so she had a back surgery when I was 13 years old. My dad went to prison a few months later. This is my freshman year in high school. And 13, so my mom started me in school early. So that's why I was 13. So freshman year in high school, mom had a back surgery, meaning she couldn't drive. I had to get a hardship license. I had to lie on my application. I had 3 jobs my freshman year in high school. I was working at Chick-fil-A, was working at a movie theater. I was lifeguarding, and then a friend of mine, lifeguarding during the summer, and then a friend of mine, family had a catering company. My brother was in college at Xavier University, so that's 20-some thousand dollars a year. My mom never made over $37,000.
mm.
So imagine living off of, yeah, so having to work overtime. And I was just like, I'm tired of eating Hot Pockets and oatmeal and breakfast for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I'm tired of, me asking my mom, can I have something? And she say no. Okay, she needs some help. So also I was washing cars and I was selling candy. So it was like, my mom got to a point, she said, well, you got more money in your Washington Mutual than I do. You better not be selling no drugs. Because I was grinding, and she didn't give me no bills, but gas money. Go, okay, if you making money, go, pay for your shoes, clothes, school activities, stuff like that. And I was throwing parties.
Oh man, you was jack of all trades,
Yeah,
man.
and I was throwing parties, man. In high school. So
Wait,
that's
you
what
said
kicked me.
that when did you get did you say you got your license at 13?
A hardship license. That
Okay,
means when you have a parent that can't drive, and they'll let you drive between certain hours.
okay, okay.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, about 13, daddy in jail, older brother going off to college, mama struggling to make ends meet. It's just that natural survival instinct. I had to do something. And I didn't want to, go to jail. My dad in jail. Every man in my family for 5 generations has been in prison. So it was
Mm.
like, I ain't, I like eating what Pimp C said back in the day, free world steak and shrimp.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
so that wasn't an option for me.
Rest in peace, Pimp C, man.
Yeah.
Just got to say that real quick since you brought him up. But yeah, I definitely understand. I understand the hardships. Uh, I learned about using my own hustle, using art to paint pictures around the city and put up signs that say close a door when you leave out, when you come in. I learned how to do that at 10, 11 years old, and I was making these little signs as a young man trying to make some cash. And in Chicago, you always got a job in the winter and in the summer if you know how to cut grass and
Mm.
shovel snow. So I definitely know how that. I do definitely know how that goes. My father wasn't around. I was living with my mom and my aunt and my sisters and everything and my cousins. So I definitely know how that feels. Do you think that we should have financial literacy classes in school?
I posted something a couple months ago on my social media, and it said that there's a million young boys in the inner city that's trying to play sports. Let's just go for basketball. Out of that million, let's say 300,000 may make a high school team. Out of that 300,000, 1,000 may go and play professional college. Out of that 1,000, 200 may start in college. Out of that 200, 7 may go to the NBA. Out of that 7, you know, how that goes. The average NBA life span is 4 years. So you got a million boys fighting for seven
7
spots, but
spots.
we have a 4-year lifespan.
Yeah.
What if we, instead of spending, and I'm not saying nothing against sports, because sports help shape structure, discipline, teamwork, problem solving, on and on and on. Sports is great. But what if we had 1 million young men and women learning real estate? What if we had 1 million young men and women learning crypto? What if we had 1 million young men and women learning Web3 and JavaScript?
Mm-hmm.
You know, what if we had 1 million young men and women learning how to, be, a ghostwriter? You know, what if we had 1 million young men and women learning how to, change laws or how to, just any other things? It's like,
Be involved in tech, be
yeah,
engineers.
yeah, engineers, doctors, pharmacists, dentists. So, if you only see it, whatever you do, let's say if you do it consistently enough, you'll be good at it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, if I go shoot 1,000 shots a day, I'm gonna start being like, shout out to my man Lethal Shooter.
Oh man,
I'm gonna hit the buckets.
that man
But
is crazy.
if I'm working on my craft of learning charts, about stocks and bonds and cryptos and commodities, if I'm working on, what you're doing, podcasts, how you do anything is how you do everything. You get better and better as you be consistent. So you
Absolutely.
can fail your way to the top.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna say it again, you can fail your way to the top. So a lot of people don't, we need more options in front of these young men and women than sports, because we don't have to always be the entertainers in, sports or comedy or film or rapping. That's not, that's
Everybody can't do that.
yeah,
Everybody
everybody
can't
can
do
do it.
that. And to
And it
kind of,
comes with a lot.
yeah, and to piggyback off of what you said about the sports, right? So in the NBA, there's only 30 something teams and 15 spots. So that's 450 spots total in the NBA.
Yeah.
Always think about that for any of the young men and women or any of the people out there listening. If you
And
have
only
children,
8 of them get in the game.
you understand? You may ride the bench for a very long time before you get your chance to shine. I've because of the podcast era that we're in right now, I've had the chance to hear how Jermaine O'Neal rode the bench for so long until he got his chance. I had the chance to hear how certain players said I was on the bench and I was very, very good and I was killing them in practice, but they said it's not your time and every spot is filled.
And even back to high school for me, I learned how to play chess.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, every man in my family, including my dad for 5 generations, were in prison. So I learned how to play chess. My dad taught me how to play chess. I was a swimmer. I could have played baseball as well. You see what I'm saying? So there were other options, but it's not cool to play chess. It's not cool to play baseball. It's not cool to swim. But I was involved in other things because I had an older brother and I listened. And that's one thing I really want to point out on this podcast today. I listened to my old brother, and I didn't want an older brother and older people than myself. And I hung around older people because I didn't want to make the same mistakes as they made. So my brother told me, get in student council, become class president. I did that. Play sports, do community service, get in every extracurricular activity you can be involved in stuff, in different organizations. So that's what led me to be able to go to school for free on a sports scholarship and an academic scholarship. So sports paid for, academics went in my pocket.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's very important to the young men and women or all those that are listening. Smart people run the world. Smart people run sports are cool, but the way this podcast is happening, the way your heating unit works, the way your car works, there are smart people that put these ideas together to make all this stuff come together. The way you have Wi-Fi.
Right. And shout out to Wallow and Gilly for this new $100 million deal that they just did.
Oh man, salute to them. I saw them signing on it, and it was good to see that. It was good to see them win,
Shout out to them. So, and that just shows you that people are not watching TV anymore. They're watching YouTube. They're watching Spotify. They're watching podcasts, and they don't have a journalism degree. Wallow, a couple of years out of prison.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Living life, enjoying life.
Yeah. So I always just want to, just reach out to the next generation and tell them that there's other ways to get money legally. But also, like I said before, never depend on never depend on one source of income.
Absolutely, absolutely. There's always a different way to make money. You just have to be persistent and dedicated to doing it. That's the focus. Uh, Sacrificing your life to make $1 around a bunch of guys that may end up going to jail or end up dead doesn't really, it's not healthy, and the benefits aren't that good unless you're one of the few guys who survive and make it to the top. And we
And
have a
like you,
lot we have a lot more guys making their way into the penal system and into the graveyard than making it to the top of the drug game.
right, and like you just said, smart people run the world. People used to call me, geek, corny, outcast. And I'm like, I'm just sparing y'all. I'm trying to make sure my mama don't cry. I'm trying not to upset my grandmother. I'm trying not to be a statistic. But I can give it to you if you want. But I'm just trying not to be that guy. So
Lord
that's
have
why I'm in
mercy.
these organizations. That's why I'm studying so hard, because I have a generational curse over my family, and I'm aware of that. And my mama prayed and kept me in church and prayed. Don't be a statistic like your daddy and your uncles and your grandfather and your great grandfather and all your cousins.
Let
You
let,
know,
let let's speak on that real quick because we come from environments where there are men around us who teach us morals, values, discipline, integrity, right? But there are idiots out here who continue to think that they're doing something awesome by pressing these buttons and crossing these lines, but they really don't know any better.
who came out with that? I think it was Meek Mill said about Twitter fingers. You got some of these people that's hiding behind the desk, and I get it. A lot of these people are introverts. A lot of these people, are normies. They're social skills, and there's nothing wrong with that. But use your skill for good. There's so many cybersecurity jobs out right now. Web3
Absolutely.
cybersecurity jobs that are paying 6 and 7 figures. So you want to be a hacker, go make sure that Russia not hacking into, or China, you see what I'm saying? So, uh, especially as a man in a young boy or a young woman's life, we speak life into this next generation.
Yes,
And
sir.
that's an issue that we've had. We've been divided since we've come to America, from our origins. They didn't want our families to be together. They didn't want, because two incomes is better than one. They didn't want us to have life insurance.
Talk about it.
They didn't want us to have financial literacy, and they didn't want us to have, a unedited thought process without them teaching us. They wanted to teach us what they wanted us to learn. So now that we have access to technology and information, we can educate ourselves, and
Yeah.
self-education is so valuable. But like you said, people that don't set an example for the next generation, man, it's pathetic. It really is.
Yeah. When
And
when we when we came out of slavery, we weren't given much of nothing. So them letting us go was like, well, we'll give them nothing and they'll have to come back to the plantation. Or
yeah,
we can arrest them while they're walking the street and we'll put them back under slavery because they're outside and we can call them criminals, vagabonds. And they have no place to go. They'll be loitering and doing all this other stuff, begging on the streets for change and for jobs and things like that. So it'll be easier to lock these people back up.
we didn't get the 40 acres in a mule. They put us in
No,
war. They put us in wars to fight that had nothing to do with us. Then you go to the war, you get addicted on heroin or cocaine, meth. You have PTSD from seeing killings. You know, then the crack laws coming here. Then 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 dropping drugs in our communities. Then
yes, yes,
then locking us up. Even still, some states still as election day was yesterday. Some states still are not pro marijuana, but most of the U.S. is. I think California got out of debt from marijuana sales in less than 18 months. And so it's just alcohol should be up there, but it's a big business.
Yeah, it's a very big business,
Cigarettes
but
should be up there. It's a
yeah,
big business.
it's a killer.
The opioid crisis, but it's a big business. So
Yeah.
you should get politics locked into certain things that are benefiting certain people's pockets. It's a different conversation.
Absolutely. And we, in our communities, especially in Chicago, I don't know how it was, how you grew up, but in Chicago, there are more liquor stores, clinics, and churches in our community than there are any resource centers or anything that actually can boost us up and change the way our paradigm works. We don't have a lot of that, and we need more. And I wish to one day be able to get with a group of guys and push and turn and change that around so it starts working, and then get to the basketball players and everybody else and get them involved.
And Black Wall Street was not just Oklahoma; it was everywhere.
It
We
was
need
Florida, it was New York.
Chicago,
Yes, sir.
Houston. It was all over the place. But we need our own grocery stores. We need our own libraries. We need our own banks. We need our own community centers. We need our own, dentists, doctors, lawyers,
Yes, yes.
police, our own politicians. Some suburb communities have their own governments. We need it all. And the only way we can get to that point is by financial literacy and putting our money in our communities and just learning what to do with money, and that's up to us to help change that generation.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's about that again. Community coming together and making a situation work for us all. Question: because of cryptocurrency, do you think it would be a good idea to phase out cash?
In Sweden, there's no cash. I was just in London 2 weeks ago. I didn't use any cash. I was in China 6 years ago. I didn't use any cash. I was in Dubai twice this year. Didn't use any cash. I was in South Africa for New Year's. No cash. Um, we're becoming a digital currency society. Cash App is digital currency. Zelle. When you woke up one day, your bank didn't ask you for permission to have Zelle. They said do an update, and you automatically had Zelle. Cash App, Zelle, PayPal, Venmo, all forms of digital currency. So if you get on a plane, you can't use cash anymore. At the airport, you can't use cash. So, cryptocurrency and the blockchain technology is going to revolutionize the world. In the next 10 years, if you're not accepting crypto as a form of payment, 9 times out of 10, you won't be in business. Now, 10 years ago, they said that about being on the internet. If you're not accepting e-commerce, you won't be in business. They said that 10 years ago. 10 years from now, if you're not accepting crypto as a form of payment, you won't be in business. The blockchain technology is basically going to do what happened with like Gaddafi, trying to say you have a record of every single thing. So if you own $1 million, they're going to be able to see you have $1 million on the blockchain. There's going to be no fraud. There's no chargebacks. So everybody's going to be held accountable. What if we paid our taxes and there's a website we can go to that says this is for roads, this is for healthcare, this is for the schools, this is for the parks, this is for the military. That's what the blockchain. See, most people don't understand Web3. Web3. Imagine if you knew what you knew about the internet in 1998, you would have focused on that. This is our second chance around Web 3.0 to be able to have the data that these big companies are selling, we can own our own. That's what it's about. So the crypto sits on the blockchain. Your website sits on the internet, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So the blockchain will show you everything, every transaction, and document it, because documentation beats conversation. So there's no fraud. So that's why a lot of these governments are against crypto and the blockchain technology, because they want to do it their way, which hasn't been working. Banks are a scam. You go cash your check. They don't give you all your money until 3 days later. What are they doing in those 3 days? They're trading your money with crypto, Forex, stocks, bonds, commodities, futures. They might 3x your money and then give you your money on Monday versus on Friday, but they 3x your money over the weekend, if that makes any sense.
No,
So
I
a lot of these banks, man, look what's happening around the world. I saw in Beirut, a guy held up a bank because he said he'd been trying to get 60,000 out the bank for the last 2 months, but they didn't give him his money. So a lot of economies are getting to that point. Just yesterday, FTX, one of the biggest, this #2 biggest crypto exchange in the country, they crashed. They couldn't pay out. That happened the same thing with Robinhood. So crypto is it's going to revolutionize the world. And why do we need cash? Cash has only been around for a little bit over 100 years. We used to do a barter system with cows and cattle. We used to trade silver and gold.
Gold, yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
We used to be in the barter system. So,
and how can a currency that you can print up every day be worth something
in the
if it's not tied to
24
anything?
months, if not a little bit more, the U.S. has printed over 70% of the cash that they've ever had.
That's crazy.
It's worthless. The U.S. dollar is worthless. Great British pound is stronger. The euro is stronger, but even the euro right now, it's about the same as the U.S. dollar. So you just can't. The U.S. dollar is backed by "In God We Trust." It's backed by our military. Like we don't have gold reserves to back up our dollar. So a lot of people don't realize that cash is just cash. It's paper. It has no value because they just keep printing it. Where all this money coming from?
Yeah, it just keeps circulating, but there's not tied to no type of value of anything.
Right. So that's what crypto and blockchain technology is tied to. Technology. It's tied to digital assets, physical assets. It's tied to different projects that have value. And just because I say this is worth $10 million, that doesn't mean it's worth $10 million. So the U.S. dollar is saying, oh, this U.S. dollar is strong, but it's just paper. If there was gold or silver or nickel or uranium or some kind of or oil back in a commodity, that's a different story. But it's just paper.
Would there be an issue with everything being digital? And I'm only saying that, would they be able to shut off anything and then say that it's not there once they turn it back on?
Well, here goes the thing. Crypto, the point and the power of crypto, it gets rid of governments and banks. So there's no middleman.
Correct.
So if I want to give you $10,000, I can send you $10,000 immediately.
Because there's no reserve or anything, FDIC and everything.
Exactly. It's digital. So, but here goes the thing. There's going to be some corruption because some countries are going to say, and some countries are already doing this. I think it's called CBCD or something like that. Where
yes, I heard about that.
Well, they say, according to your social status, we're going to allow you to go on a train or buy a plane ticket, or we'll allow you to get a loan based on your social status. So if you don't do what we say to do, then we'll lower your social status. And so at that point, they can shut down anything. But put it like this. When the government gave everybody those stimulus checks, they pressed a button and $1,200 was in everybody's account.
That's a fact.
So they can turn it on or turn it off at any time. But the whole point of crypto and the security of crypto is to make sure that governments are not interfering. And that's why the governments, they don't want to get rid of the banks and the governments, but that's what cryptocurrency is all about. And it's going to expose the crookedness that they've been doing with the money.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Like you said, the banks are a scam. The banks were never backed by anything. They were backed by debt, by creating debt and the housing market, which was the scam for them to make money, right?
Right. Correct. But then also in China, there's no credit. If I own $1 million home in China, I gave 1 million yen, $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no credit or anything like that in China. So the U.S., we got a westernized way of thinking and doing things, and it's going to bite us in our foot. And I want everybody to look up something called BRICS, BRICS: Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. These are the 5 new superpowers that really don't need to depend on the U.S. The U.S. is not the bully superpower that we thought that we once were years ago, because we're behind in technology, we're behind in science, we're behind in math. Our military, really hasn't had nobody to really come up against us. So BRICS, go look that up, and you'll see all the superpowers and how they're preparing. Well, they don't need the U.S.
I think that was our only thing, right? Was the military is the biggest thing that people are worried about.
Our military is a bully. Wherever we go, we steal oil, we steal commodities, and we never leave. We set up shop.
Yeah,
So,
but you have the other two bullies, North Korea and Russia, saying, "Yeah, we dare you, we
right,
dare you."
right, right, and China.
Yeah,
Look what China's saying to Taiwan right now.
yeah, and I
You
think
know,
what is it? It's 40% of our debt is owned by China.
maybe more,
Yeah. Okay.
might be more. So that's what digital currency just gives you freedom to not have to deal with governments and banks, which both of them are they are who they are.
Okay. All right. So, kind of a personal question: Are you single, married,
Single.
single? Okay. So, as a single man, are you looking for a partner or a sponsor?
Definitely has to be a partner.
Uh,
I got five C's that I check off when looking for a partner. And sponsor, you know, that's some men are sponsors, but it depends on culture because depending on where you live, we live in America. They tell us we're supposed to have one wife. If I was born in Saudi Arabia or the UAE or some places in Africa or Asia, they say you can have more than one wife, but you got to be able to afford it. So that's a whole different conversation. But I would definitely, look for a partner. Like I said earlier, two incomes is more powerful than one. Two brains is more powerful than one. Two hustlers is more powerful than one. Two people that can be on the same page, building a legacy is more powerful than one. And most, a famous quote, they'll say, behind every man is a good woman. Most men need a woman to complete them. Like, I always tell people, I own several businesses. I'm always busy, but I'm not good at certain things, so that's something that I know and I'm aware of, that I know that a woman would complete me in these areas, so I definitely am not trying to do this. I can't build an empire by myself. And most
that's a
successful
fact.
men are married, so um, yeah, definitely that's the goal, but you got to go through a lot of hay to get to the needle in the haystack.
Man, who are you telling, brother? Who are you telling? I totally understand that. So, my next question to you would be: does a woman's financial status matter for you?
It does, and not necessarily money, more the mindset, because you know I can't deal with a broke woman, and broke don't mean money. Poor doesn't mean money. A lot of times it means passing over opportunities repeatedly. Broke is a mindset. And so I can't deal with a broke mindset woman, a broken heart woman, a broken spirit woman, and because that's another stress that I have to take on. So a woman that's educated, credit is always important. Woman that has drive and that understands my entrepreneurial spirit, because I'm a busy man. So from the time I open my eyes to when I close my eyes, I'm busy. So a woman that understands, okay, when I come home, I'm not necessarily gonna want to use 1,000 words when I get home. I'm gonna need some peace and quiet. Let me relax and go from there. One woman that understands my travel schedule. Woman that understands the stress of being a black man in America. One that understands the stress of being a black man that's an entrepreneur in America. One that understands the stress of being a black man that's an entrepreneur that's educated in America. On and on and on. So the right woman definitely can make or break a man, and I encourage every man. There's somebody for everybody, but just find the one that's right for you, and find the one that like you, because a lot of women are looking for opportunities, and
Mm-hmm.
we
And
got it hard these days. They said
yeah,
they had it hard, but we got it hard these days as men,
yeah,
because
absolutely.
a third of the black men are in prison, the other third are in jail. Probably another 10 to 20% are homosexuals. So you dealing with it.
Up against a lot.
Yeah, you're dealing with a lot,
Up
and
against a
nothing
lot.
against anybody's sexual preference, but you know, black women, brown women, any woman on earth that seeks after a black man, they don't have many options.
Yeah, and another part of that is that instead of them learning where they are in life, they shoot further than where they are, right? They're reaching higher than where their position is. So they're playing themselves, trying to get to the highest guy that they can get to, but they're stretching themselves thin. And I'm not gonna really hit on that, but don't wear yourself out trying to, trying to
Yeah,
get to that Brad, trying to
that's
get to the
a whole different podcast.
yeah, don't wear yourself out trying to get to the gold ring when the brass ring is right there in front of you. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
it's so easier, like you said, when you have a two income household, you can build and you can establish everything that you're trying to. If the person is willing to work with you, I hear people say things about I don't want to be with nobody if I'm going 50-50. Well, if you got 50-50 money, what are you expecting? If you have an average type of lifestyle, you can only afford to be around average motherfuckers unless you do something better for yourself. You know what I mean? And a lot of people don't understand that.
right.
But you can still build in that area.
Yeah, and social media and the internet in this society is just taking away love,
Oh
taking
man.
away realistic expectations, taking away there's so much um conceitedness and internet guys and gals. You
Yeah.
know, these dudes pretend that there's something that they're not. And
False narratives,
right,
false narratives. These bad examples of women and men who are creating my buddy Six called echo chambers, where everybody's getting together and they're shouting out this information, they're bouncing amongst each other, but no one's listening to the other side of how things are actually going. So one guy might be saying, um, all women are trash, and he's got a bunch of followers now because he's saying that. But it's not that all women are trash, it's just the women that you date are
correct,
trash, right? And then you got the women on the other side saying that men can't deal with independent black women, and they can't deal with my masculinity. No one wants to deal with your masculinity because no man wants to deal with another person trying to imitate a man. I prefer a woman. So you need to turn that shit off when you're dealing with me. And you
right.
have all these different opinions, and it's separating everybody because people are trying to choose sides instead of saying, hey, this is how it should actually go, or these are the things we need to work on to be able to come together, man. And it's crazy out here when I hear all this shit.
Yeah, and the more you travel, the more you'll see that uh
It's
the
us.
African American community is the only community that really don't love each other how we should. That's separated amongst business and personal and divided. And other cultures, they stick together, love each other, and build together. And
Man.
that's it. That's law. You know, so and that's why I respect some other cultures that have arranged marriages. You know, you can't marry into this social class if you're not on that level.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
and most people don't understand that's how the Queen of England, rest her soul, no, became the Queen of England because her brother married out of the social class. You know, so I respect other cultures. Arranged marriages, hey, listen, you're gonna learn to love him because he can afford you, he can take care of you, he can handle it. You know, but you're gonna learn to, so and you're gonna deal or you're gonna deal with the concubines.
Yeah, and people don't really understand it. What we're really saying. Like, I don't think they get it. I think there's a small people like us that think like this. We get it, but there are other people who just don't get it. Think about what Jay-Z said in the song. He said, "I bought her an island and I take her on $1 million vacations." What the fuck y'all niggas gonna do with that? How many guys can do that for her?
Right,
How many? So why would she give up her position in place to be with anybody else?
right. It's levels.
Big time levels. Like she's not gonna go backwards. She's not gonna go backwards just because some guy's a basketball player or something like that. There's too much on that level. Too many things going on that level that she has to take on and deal with to think about messing with something that's less than. And it's not saying that she wouldn't, but that's a very high level up there,
Right.
and she earned that.
Yeah.
That's not somebody that would just pull it up. That was a woman who was worth $300 million or whatever it is. I don't know the ticket on it, but that's a woman who's put in the time to make that happen for herself.
And she could do it for herself too. So
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely. Absolutely. So I agree with you. I am not looking for a sponsor. I'm looking for a partner. I don't need nobody to. I'm not lame or goofy enough to let somebody attach themselves to me and use me of my resources so they can better themselves. You need to come on in here, show me what type of hustle you got, what type of dream and ambition you got, and we're gonna figure this thing out and we're gonna make it work together.
There we go.
And if not, you're gonna get the fuck out by the next 3 to 6 months. We gonna figure it out.
Yeah.
We're gonna figure it out. I don't usually let them stick around for too long. And it's not and that's not to be mean, but it's just to say that I'm driven. I have what I'm looking at. I know what it is. I know what I want, and I don't need you to waste more time than I have to that I have on
Because
this
time is
call.
the only thing that can be replaced, and a lot of people take that for granted.
It's expensive, man. It is not cheap. It's not cheap. You can't play around and waste people's time. And often people say, "Oh, he shuts people out." Yeah, very fast sometimes because I got shit to do. I got shit to do. I got to get up. I got to go to work. I got to be over here. I got to do a podcast over there. I have to do mentor work over here. You understand what I'm saying? I have stuff to do. I can't sit around. When I make time for you, you should honor that. You should respect that, and we should make the best of that time. And if you can't do that, then I got to go. I got to go. I got other things to do with my time. Hell, sometimes I need to sleep.
Yeah. Sometimes.
Sometimes. Sometimes. How often do you get a chance to travel?
Man, honestly, one of my phrases is all I do is trade and travel.
Mm.
So I trade about maybe an hour a day, but I don't trade every day. But for the most part, about an hour a day, a couple times a week, and I travel probably at least 2, 3 times a month. I travel internationally at least once a month, and I got this philosophy where I sleep roughly 4 to 6 hours a day. Um,
So I'm not alone then. Okay.
No, 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 you're not. You're not. I sleep roughly 4 to 6 hours a day. I go hard for 25 days out the month, and I take 5 days where I do nothing. So those 5 days, it's most of the time it'll be domestic or international, and I take 5 days and do nothing. But 25 days out the month, I'm I'm going hard nonstop.
When your financial status changed, did you bring up people with you? Did you try to teach it and show it to other people?
Yes, um, and at the same time, once you stop trying to help people, and once you stop talking, that's when they listen. Because the whole way, and I'm not at the top, I'm in the middle, but I can see how people say it's lonely at the top because once I've been self-employed 17 years now, haven't
Mm.
stood a clock for anybody. Um, and it hasn't been easy because I don't have nobody looking over my shoulder say, go do this, go do this, go do this. But I've tried to bring a lot of people up with me. And at the same time, a lot of people, they're not willing to make the sacrifices. That's why it's called the 1%ers, 1 to 3%ers, because 97% of the people, they're not willing
Put
to
in the work.
put the work in, to be a student all the way to the top, to be humble. Everybody, some people always want to be the chief. They're not willing to make the sacrifices, to take the losses, to take the L's, to be ridiculed, to be laughed at, to be an outcast, to miss out on parties, events, social things, to travel, to have relationships that I've had several relationships that haven't worked out because of my entrepreneurship. Oh, why are you dealing with so many women? Because these women that I'm dealing with, it's business. I'm not touching them, but it's business. And money's green. It's not man or woman. One of my mentors the other day, he said, you need to be accepting money from everybody. Black, brown, blue, green, man, woman, boy, girl, whoever. There's two kind of people in the world. Somebody buying, somebody selling.
That
So
is.
a lot of times women are more open to buy products or services than men. Think about how many lotions that they have and lashes and different hair products and different, women, they gonna buy candles, whatever. Women are visual creatures and they want to experience certain things. So they're open to buy. Most women are open to financial literacy. Most women are open to health and wellness. Most women are open to uh, you know, books, or any kind of product or service.
Yes,
You talk
sir.
to women and kids, you're gonna make some money.
Because
Period.
they are always looking to look good. They always want to look good.
Right.
And men are visual creatures, so that's why they do it.
Yeah, but also the women will spend money on their kids. A man gonna spend money on their kids. So
Correct.
women and children, you want to sell something, sell it to women and children.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely. What are your favorite places to travel to internationally?
Um, Man, I've been so many places. Right now, I would say South Africa because they have the beaches and the mountains. That's one. Dubai, and I'm gonna go with Curacao. I like Curacao. It's part of the Netherlands Antilles, ABCs, Aruba, Bonaire, Curacao. Nice beaches, nice culture, and I like to go places. Oh, then also Colombia. I love Colombia.
Okay.
Nice cultures, nice beaches, good food. The people accept you. A lot of people speak English because Americans, unfortunately, we're some of the only ones that only speak English. Go other places, you know,
They speak
in
in
France,
German,
yeah, in
French,
Germany, France, Asia, certain
Spanish.
places, they're not going to adapt to you not knowing how to speak English.
No, they're just gonna look at you and go, eh.
Yeah, yeah. So living in Texas and Houston, I'm pretty decent in Spanish, so I like Colombia as well. It's just because you go and you see your brothers and sisters that look just like you. They're in a different part of the world. Most speak English, but then Spanish or Portuguese. So
Mm.
those are some of my favorite
Have you
places.
ever been to Bora Bora?
I have not. I have not. I heard it's a long flight. I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
get there next year. I'm gonna get Maldives, Bora Bora. I'll definitely get there next year. Yeah, I'm gonna do more beach trips, and I scuba dive as well. So I
Okay.
heard it's nice
Okay.
there too. So, but I
Yeah,
have,
I never seen water that clear before.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It's nice. And go to Tahiti. Yeah, got the huts over the water. Yeah,
Yes,
I'll
sir.
make it there next year for
Yes,
sure.
sir. It's beautiful. It's not a lot going, but it's a place to relax and just be left the hell alone.
Yeah, not
It's,
alone.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I think it's something to see. It's something to see.
Definitely.
Definitely, definitely. So what do you have planned? As far, do you? I shouldn't even say what do you have planned. Have you ever tried to put together a mentorship for trading?
Well, I do have courses on my website, cryptocorey.co.
There we
That's
go.
cryptocorey, Corey.co. I do one-on-one and group trainings for cryptocurrency. I have a course that's crypto and credit, and I do tours for that as well. But it's kind of a mentorship if people want that ongoing. And then I have one that's I'm going to teach you the basics and the 101 of crypto, blockchain, digital technology so that you can go and make money and prepare your own portfolio. So yeah, I have that already set up.
Okay, cool. Are one of your investments or streams of income? Do you get into real estate?
I do. I do.
Okay,
I have quite a bit, quite a few real estate projects in
awesome.
Houston and also right outside of Las Vegas.
Oh,
Uh,
okay, okay.
yeah, in Pahrump, Nevada. So yeah, yeah,
What
yeah.
made you choose Nevada?
No state taxes. A lot of people leaving California. It's right next door. The cost of living is not as high as California, but and then just the scenery, and it's well, Vegas is full, so that's why I'm outside of Vegas. But you have the scenery there. You got the mountains, and a lot of people just like that scenery there.
Do you
So
think that the cost of living in the market will drop good in California well enough for people to go back, or do you think it's kind of like that place is just shot?
nobody who wants to live in California and 48% of your income is gone to the government in
Yeah.
taxes. Like that's just dumb and stupid. So people should get out of California and get out of New York ASAP. But Texas, Houston, we're full. They don't need to come here. Like,
Yeah, stop running that way because y'all filling it up. Y'all gonna end up on property that I'm looking at. So we don't need that. We don't need that. Yeah, I don't understand how people are left California, but they still stayed in New York. And I would think people would want to leave New York because of the congestion and the
yeah,
clutter.
but they pay more in California and New York, but it's just people don't do the math on it. And who wants to be in a 400 square foot studio I had a friend of mine I went and visited after college. I think she was in law school. She was living in Tribeca, paying $3,000 a month, and my living room was bigger than her whole apartment. And I'm like, yeah, this is no way to live. Like she had
Yeah,
her clothes or nails hung up on the walls.
yeah.
No problem.
When I saw that, I was like, yeah, this. I don't want to be here.
Yeah.
I don't want to be here. Like, cool place to visit. You know, you get to see the scenery and how everything is made up. But I don't want to be here for too much longer. Yeah, and the stench is crazy as well. Yeah,
Totally understand.
say that again.
I said totally understand. Nope, nobody wants to be in those conditions.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, my brother, is there anything you want to add on?
No, I appreciate your time, man. I thank you for inviting me on the podcast.
Yes,
Uh,
sir.
I just want to encourage everybody to never let anybody steal your dreams. Any dreams or goals that you have, write them down. If it's not written down, 9 times out of 10, it won't happen. Put vision boards around your home or everywhere you want. If you want that car, that home, that vacation, that amount of money saved to impact a certain amount of people, to speak in front of people, visualize your goals and dreams. Surround yourself by people that are better than you, wiser than you, smarter than you, got more money than you. Keep investing in technology, and keep investing in yourself and learning and information, and just never give up. Consistency, consistency is the key. Fail your way to the top, and never forget to believe in yourself. A lot of people they let people talk about the dreams. Believe in yourself, and never give up. Like just fail your way to the top. Like, and it's not going to be easy, but it's worth it. I've been rich and I've been poor, and rich is better. It's a whole lot better.
Absolutely. I have another question before we leave out here. You ever been to one of those Afrotech uh, investments?
Man, there's one in Austin this weekend. I was really thinking about going. Uh, there's one in Austin this weekend, but no, I haven't been to one, but I heard it's pretty good. So
Yeah,
I was
I heard it
considering.
was. I haven't been. I heard about the ones in California, but I
Yeah,
haven't
I
been.
usually go to a lot of the crypto and NFT events in Miami, and in Dubai. But yeah, I've never been to one. But I might go to Austin this weekend since that's right up the street for me. It's an
Okay.
African event this weekend off Austin.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been another episode of Faux Profits Podcast. My guest is Corey Williams, also known as Crypto Corey. I don't know how I messed that up, and I practiced it. But also remember the mission statement when you're striving for greatness. God never puts you in the driver's seat if it's taken. I appreciate your time, Corey. I thank everyone for listening, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you, and have a good one.
appreciate it.